We've heard, Urban Meyer connected as a person of interest there and other places, and it's possible they would explore that. The college ranks include Matt Rule at Baylor, who's a guy that I think a number of teams are interested in talking to. You look around the landscape at the Mike McCarthy, Ron Rivera types who have some experience, could fit there. It's a unique job. Whoever goes there, and we've talked about this as well, has to understand what the landscape is, how Jerry Jones is going to be out talking on the radio all the time and talking to media after games. And, you're going to want to just be the coach and not have to necessarily have the personnel control some of these guys might want to have. So it'll be interesting to watch. It should be, like I said, a unique opening.
I will tell you what I'm rooting for. I've said for 30 years, I'm in the interesting business, and nothing could be more interesting than if Urban Meyer became the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. You two cover the college game. Well, actually, all three of you cover the college game for us. Do you think Urban Meyer and Jerry Jones is a marriage that could work?
No. I don't think if you look at former college coaches, whether it's Meyer, whether it's Rule, whether it's Lincoln Riley, I don't think so. And I don't think so because Meyer has won a lot. You talk about Rule and you talk about Lincoln, they haven't won as much, but Meyer's won a lot, and he knows what it takes to win. He has a recipe, Greeny. Jerry Jones ain't going to let you be the chef. He's going to come in there and be like, let's add some more salt to that, Urban. Let's add some pepper to that. How about some parsley? Urban's going to be like, chill, I got this. So when you talk about the guys that could be the next predecessor as a Cowboys head coach, it shouldn't be Urban, not a good recipe.
This is fascinating to me because I think if Jerry Jones wasn't with the Cowboys, and obviously a huge part of him, we would be talking about Urban Meyer as making a lot of sense. So really this all kind of functions around Jerry Jones. And Greeny, when you look at those three that you mentioned, it feels to me like Jerry needs to make a splash hire. So one of those three would be, I think, considered a splash, especially Urban Meyer. When you think about maybe the NFL guys, though, that have more experience in the league and might be better fits, those aren't the splash hires. So I don't know if that makes as much sense. I just don't see Urban and Jerry meshing the way that they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, remember, I said this yesterday. I honestly think Jerry Jones likes control and power more than he does winning. He loves winning. He just likes control and power more. And so is he going to let that get in the way of him hiring the best candidate? Is maybe the candidate of Urban Meyer or a Lincoln Riley going to walk in and go, listen, I will come to this job, but I'm taking control. And I don't know what that necessarily looks like, but if Jerry is willing to let some of that go, then it becomes an even more enticing job. I think NFL, again, Ron Rivera is a guy that I think walks in and wins a bunch of football games for the Cowboys.
Let me tell you who it is. It's Lincoln Riley. And it's Lincoln Riley because we know what he can do with quarterbacks. Dan spoke on it earlier in the 8 o'clock hour. He's first off, I don't think it's far-fetched to say, Lincoln, you're probably not going to win a college football national championship. I think that's the first thing. So I don't think he's going to try to stay in college to win that. You didn't win it with the first-round pick Heisman. You didn't win it with another first-round pick Heisman. You might not win it now, so I don't think that's too far-fetched. But Greeny, it's Lincoln because look at what he can do with quarterbacks. The Cowboys have the pieces. Dak Prescott, Zeke. Will they keep Amari? They have the pieces. Now you just need a conductor. Lincoln's the perfect.
I have two thoughts. One, he's not going to win a championship. He is in the playoff for the third straight year. I mean, you have to get there to have a chance. He's a lot closer than most other people are. And then the second that I keep coming back to, Jerry Jones has had two all-time great coaches in Dallas, Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells. And he could not make it work with either of them. Neither one of them stayed long because they could not deal with that factor. So that, I think, is going to be the problem. And yet and still, it is what I'm rooting for, because the one thing it would not be under any circumstances is 8-8 and boring. Then there's another opening we need to talk about.
Yeah, let's get to the Panthers. They're looking for a new coach since firing Ron Rivera, who we were just talking to. A leak source told ESPN's Adam Schefter that Carolina has interviewed former Green Bay Packers head coach Mike McCarthy for the job. So you think about McCarthy in Charlotte, Dan, what comes to mind? And I think this is particularly interesting because you've got to wonder, does Cam Newton stay there and how healthy is he?
That's the giant asterisk. I'm actually a fan of Mike McCarthy. I think he's done a really good job this year. If you read up on him, kind of diving into some football stuff of what's going on right now in the NFL and kind of reevaluating the way he wants to coach and think. So I'm a fan of a person who's aware enough to do that. The giant asterisk is Cam Newton. Is Cam Newton healthy? If Cam Newton is healthy and real healthy, not like, hey, you can go function in life, but if he's really healthy, then yeah, this is a very enticing job. Again, Cam Newton 14 months ago was on track to be one of the MVPs of the NFL. And so if the surgery that he just had is a successful surgery in regards to him being a dominant NFL player, then my goodness, yeah, this is a very intriguing job, and Mike McCarthy makes a lot of sense because of the versatility that you could do with Cam. But if Cam's not healthy, you got no part of it.
If Cam's not healthy, the quarterbacks they have on the roster aren't the guys for McCarthy. When you look at Will Grier, when you look at Kyle Allen, they're not those dudes. Now, Mike McCarthy in his prime, Aaron Rodgers in his prime. Remember, Rodgers was extremely mobile. We laud Aaron Rodgers for his passing ability, but when I was playing the Packers in 2014 and 15, inside zone and zone reads, Lord, that's what Cam Newton does to keep a defense honest. I love the partnership if Cam Newton is there.
Well, that becomes the question. If Cam Newton is there, they're not rebuilding. If Cam Newton is not healthy, it's a total rebuild, right? You're building around Christian McCaffrey, and you're figuring out who your next quarterback is going to be. If Newton is there, it becomes sort of a win-now job. So I understand what you're saying. That's the central question here, because those are two completely different challenges.
It's the only question. If Cam Newton is healthy, yep, I want that job. If Cam Newton's not healthy,
I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, time to run the hurry up, and we'll get you on this, Dan Orlovsky. Former Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch signs with the Seahawks again. How do you envision him returning to this offense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly going to get about 15 carries a game. And if Marshawn Lynch, who's averaged 4 yards per carry the last 2 years, if he can do that for this Seahawks offense, that's a big deal. They want to be a physical, grind you out, 35 runs a game type of offense, then take some shots downfield. If he can give that, this signing makes a lot of sense.
Eagles running back Jordan Howard expected back for their offense against the Giants. What can he bring back to this offense that desperately needs some people on it?
Well, I mean, I think the best thing that happened is they've realized that Miles Sanders is a very special player. And now Jordan Howard can give him that secondary running back, a little bit more of a physical guy in short yardage situations. We saw 2 3rd-and-1s the other day where they decided to throw the ball. If he can come back and give some short yardage gains, that'd be a big deal.
Let's stick with those Eagles. Tight end Zach Ertz suffered a fractured rib Sunday versus the Cowboys. You said you think he might be out there and play. How big of an injury is this?
This is the only conversation the Eagles need to have this week. Is Zach Ertz going to play? Because if Zach Ertz doesn't play, Damian Woody might be right. But if Zach Ertz plays and goes out there and toughs it out again, I believe that he'll find a way to be productive. Carson Wentz will find a way to play well, and the Eagles will find a way to win that football game, but it all hinders on his health.
Yeah, look, no secret that Ertz would be a huge loss for Carson Wentz and the Eagles if he's not able to be out there. He by far has the most targets of any Philly receiver this year. And looking at that top 4 list, only Dallas Goedert is for sure playing on Sunday.
And speaking of Wentz, he led the Eagles to that huge win over Dallas on Sunday. And Dan Orlovsky, who has been a Wentz believer all season long, yesterday had scores to settle on Get Up. He had some words for those who have criticized the Eagles quarterback, including my man, Emmanuel Acho.
Oh, Manuel Acho, who cherry-picked some misses and said Carson Wentz has too many missed throws. Acho, stick to the linebackers. Your quarterback analysis on Carson Wentz, it stinks, bro.
Okay, well, we are nothing if not here for rebuttal. Obviously, everyone gets their chance. So what do you make of this?
Now, look, Greeny, I'm in Bristol, Connecticut. I'm on the elliptical. I'm trying to stay in shape to fit into these suits. And I'm watching Get Up, because who shouldn't? And I see this guy. This guy, Greeny's talking about, Acho, your quarterback's this, your quarterback takes or that. I thought there's only one way to settle this.
Okay.
But then I'm coming in here and I realize, you know what? There's one thing, Dan, that we can't agree on. Doug Peterson severely outcoached Jason Garrett. Let's talk to him about that one.
Let's talk about how the Eagles utilize their 12 personnel to make sure that they put themselves in advantage to go and attack the Cowboys defense. Put your gloves away. So let's talk 12 personnel. 1 running back, 2 tight ends. Those 2 tight ends are up there. So you got 1 running back and 2 tight ends at the top of the screen. Now, what that does to a defense, you as a defense then have to determine how you're going to play against us. You're going to put 3 linebackers on the field, 1, 2, and 3, or you're going to put 2 linebackers and a nickel on the field. Now, if this was a nickel back, that would be a defensive back. The Eagles would line up and go, here comes the run game. Big people blocking little people. The Eagles or the Cowboys decide to play with 3 linebackers. Now, when the Eagles see that, they go, we're going to throw the ball against you, advantage us.
Now, I'm the linebacker since Dan told me to stick to linebackers. I am number 43, Malcolm Smith. I just got signed 5 days ago, and I haven't played a game in 42 days. So I hope the Cowboys coach has told me I'm supposed to be 5 yards deep, and I'm supposed to be inside of number 84, Greg Ward. Now, I am the curl, flat defender. What that means is I have the curl, unless something takes me to the flat. That something was number 84, Greg Ward. Now, when something takes you to the flat, you buy him and you own him. And it's like a Christmas gift with no receipts. There are no returns.
Now, the Eagles realize that, and so they draw up a perfect play to attack that linebacker. What they're going to do is take the outside receiver and go on this post route. That's going to take the corner out of there. And then Greg Ward, that receiver that you were supposed to buy as a linebacker, is going to run that wheel route. Let's watch Malcolm Smith not do his job. So at first, he's going to do a really good job of seeing that Greg Ward's going to go to the flat. He's got vision to him right there. That's a great job. You have purchased that item. It is yours right now. Now, what happens as this play goes along is he gets his vision back to the quarterback. The Eagles knew he wasn't going to do his job. The Eagles knew that if they got in 12, they could take advantage of a linebacker out there, and Greg Ward ends up wide open down the field, and that's the linebacker that was at least supposed to carry him down the sidelines. This is a great job by the Eagles coaching staff of dictating personnel, dictating how they wanted to match up. And again, look at him having vision back to the quarterback and him not carrying this receiver as he's going to go downfield. That is creative coaching. That is putting your players in the positions to be the most successful.
So Dan was right this time, but call me out on national TV like that again. We're boxing for real.
Am I the only one who's disappointed that you didn't actually punch him? Okay, so let's talk for a minute here, though, if we can, because there isn't any question that Wentz played a really good game on Sunday, and we can debate whether he's, is going to the Hall of Fame or whatever we want. But the reality is, if they do not have Zach Ertz, and you were just talking about it, they are depleted. The Giants are playing a little bit better. The Giants could be a very dangerous test for them this weekend. Do you see a real path here for the Cowboys still to get into the playoffs?
There's definitely a path. I mean, divisional games are always tricky. The Cowboys are better than the Eagles, and the Eagles won. The Eagles on paper are better than the Giants, and the Giants could win. Now, the Eagles are tough. They're gritty, and this is when you catch that Eagles magic. So I think the Eagles get it.
What do you think, Danny?
No, I believe the Eagles are going to win this game. I also believe that